See, 5 o'clock. Call to order the finance and personnel meeting of Tuesday, August 19th. Roll call, please.
John Kidd. Here. Amy Johnson. Here. Casey Boer.
Here.
Wayne Schmidt.
Here.
Midge Swedberg. Here. Scott Meverden. Marty.
Here.
Kevin Schmidt.
Sorry about that.
All right, we're good. Would you confirm the meeting in compliance with open meetings law?
Yes, it is.
Thank you. I would look for approval of or changes to the order of the agenda.
I'll move the agenda. Second.
By John, second by Wayne, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. We had a meeting on July 15th. Did everyone have a chance to look at the meeting minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve it.
I second it.
Motion by Midge, second by Dawn. No discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. And then the bills. Did everyone have a chance to go over the bills? And are there any questions? And if not, we would look for a motion to accept.
So move, Mr. Mayor.
By Kevin,
Second.
second by Scott. Roll call, please.
Midge Swedberg.
Yes.
John Ortlieb.
Yes.
Casey Boer.
Yes.
Wayne Schmidt.
Yes.
Amy Johnson.
Yes.
John Kidd.
Yes.
Kevin Schmidt.
Yes.
Scott Meverden.
Yes.
Thank you. Conference attendance, I see Matt and Amy for the league. Anything you want to add, Matt, to that, or otherwise I would look for a motion to approve those?
It's the annual League of Wisconsin Municipalities Fall Conference. Amy is going as a representative as a council member and myself.
Are you representing the league in your
I-
new position?
So we do have a meeting there on the second day, but this is the only conference that I attend for the league that the city pays for. They consider this a more of a benefit to the municipality than the league.
So the other ones that you attend, that's at your expense.
At my expense, so the city gets all reimbursed for everything, all of my travel and stay.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So with this spring one, because you normally go to the spring one as well, would that also be a city one? Which I would expect it would be.
That's a great point that you brought up. So that when I go to the spring conference, right, I go there as the league board, but that is paid for. Everything is free.
You still
If you have
represent
the
the
league's
city.
insurance, that is correct. But that is paid for by the league's insurance, that conference.
Oh, okay. Thank
So
you.
we don't pay anything for, I don't pay anything for that.
Okay, thank you for that.
Make a motion to approve. Second.
Motion by Scott and second by Casey. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Public comment. Anyone here wants to speak under public comment? Bob wants to keep quiet, third time, and we're done. All right, administrative reports, treasurer, you want to go first?
Sure, so I handed out my report for all of you. The backside has the recap of the revenue versus expenditures as of today's date. On the front side, you'll see kind of just some highlights for the month that I'll run through real quick. Last week, well, a couple weeks ago, we received the first installment of the state shared revenue payments. We received a little over $246,000. That is 100% of the expenditure restraint incentive program payment and 50% of the county and municipal aid, utility aid, and supplemental aid that they provide. And we'll get the remainder of that, which is like $1 million on November 17th. Yesterday, we also received a check for $700,000 for the August tax settlement. And on your September Finance and Personnel Committee meeting, we'll be talking about 2 debt issuances. One is for a sewer debt refinance that we'll be doing locally with the Bank of Luxembourg. And the other is the TID 5 infrastructure work for the housing development that's going to be going up there. That one will be done with Jeff Belangi going out to the bond market, and he'll be here for that meeting. The final cruise ship of the year was here over the weekend. The final invoice has been sent for that. I believe there are only 6 or 7 cruises this year, and total revenue for 2025 will be $43,000 on that. And then, just an update on the revenue for the clerk treasurer services contract that we're doing with the city of Kiwanee. Right now, we're at a point where we are just kind of maintaining, what is going on there, working on some side projects and fixing things up. But there's no longer like a large backload of work to be done. All the bank and account reconciliations are able to be completed like timely within a week or so after the month closes. And we're just working on, like I said, projects, keeping things moving, providing office coverage. And then while we're here or while we're there, we can be doing both work for both municipalities at the same time because we have access to everything from both locations. We are still also like kind of splitting time there, each being in Kiwanee 2 days a week. That does not mean that we're only here like the other 3 days a week for a minimum amount of hours. We're still putting in extra hours every week to cover all of the workload. So just to recap the revenue, city has paid or has received almost $55,000 in revenue since this started in March. Wages paid out plus the Medicare, Social Security and retirement on that amounts to about $12,500. So net revenue to the city is about $42,000 at this point.
That's very good.
Are they looking for replacements?
They do have 2 positions posted right now to try and staff their city hall. They've been posted for a few months.
Any leads?
We're not really super involved in their recruitment process, so.
Okay.
Jamie, when we did that bond market with Jeff, are we doing the whole 3.3? That was the guess.
Yeah, we talked about that at a previous meeting, that way we don't have to go up to the bond market more than once, we don't have to go out to bid more than once for the project, so we're just gonna do it all at one time.
Okay, thank you.
I noticed here on 301 wastewater reserve fund, why do we have that?
Wastewater treatment reserve fund, so when we go out for debt financing for any type of sewer projects, we need to prove that we have reserves in the sewer fund. So you'll see that it's at 100%. That's because we just automatically transfer that 137.5 to that fund one time per year.
Mhm. Thank you.
Generally speaking, Jamie, and how are things improved, going well? Sounds like they're.
Yeah, no, I think
Okay.
everything's going well. For this far into the year, we should be, calculation.
I think it was the direction, was at the end of the year, kind of like a deadline that we gave them as far as Kiwanee.
Oh, yeah. I thought you were talking budget wise.
Yes.
Kiwanee, yeah, we will be staffing their office, providing training, doing their utility billing and payroll kind of under that addendum to the contract through the end of the year. Beyond that, we still have the initial contract, which would have us helping out with like clerk treasurer type things, but as long as they have like one person for sure there by that point, a lot of that we can just do by answering phone calls and remotely or popping in every once in a while.
Okay. Things have improved though.
From
Overall.
our standpoint, yeah, yeah.
Any other questions for Jamie? We'll look for motion to approve the report, see how they're gonna be monthly, no, correct?
Okay.
That way everybody can acknowledge that they
You want to
understood
do them
it.
both together?
We can do that, absolutely. You wanna go ahead, Erin?
Sure. So Jamie ended with Kiwanee. I'm gonna start with Kiwanee just to kind of piggyback off of where she was going. Their reassessment is underway. Open book was held Monday and Tuesday and was highly successful. They are in the same boat that we are, where we just got reassessed. They're dealing with the higher increases to the property values and a lot of education moments are going on. We're working on creating and putting in policies in place for special events, road closures due to events, reimbursement policies for the marina and campground, and putting better practices in place for recording permits such as building fence and sign. It's very helpful that Algoma already has these policies and practices in place. We don't have to reinvent the wheel and we can easily tailor them to the city of Kiwanee to best meet the needs for their residents. We're also switching their software agenda to Town Cloud like the city of Algoma. It seems to work really well for this council. They've been demoing it and positive feedback. Algoma update. No elections this year, but you'll start to hear election information for the next year, so 2026, at the October meeting as we get closer to candidacy paperwork being able to be circulated. Permit update for you. Golf cart, 15 permits or license have been issued to date. The process seems to be going pretty smoothly from our end, and it's a great meet and greet for the chief and his officers with those coming in to get permits. Short-term rental, 34 to date licensed. In comparing with those reporting to room tax, it looks to be about on par. Temporary Class B licenses issued. We've had about 17 issued. 2 or more of those have multiple days and $10 collected for each occurrence. Operators license issued, we have 48 regular and 6 temporary. And mobile food establishment licenses, we have 7, 3 being year-long and 4 being temporary.
Aaron, can you repeat? I don't know if you said Airbnbs or you did
Short-term rental, yep. We have 34 licensed to date.
Okay,
When I compared our short-term rental license to what we're collecting in room tax quarterly, it seems to be pretty on par with what we're getting in from room tax. So if I count how many are collecting on my spreadsheet or turning in forms, pretty close to the number that are licensed.
and we have no handle on how many Airbnbs we have.
We do not. The only thing that we can go off of is the DADCAP report on, the state's website that gives us a list of all of the establishments that have their lodging license.
Just in clarity though, so the council knows, out of that 34, some of those, or a lot of them could be multiple short, if you have 4 units, that would be 1 license. Does that make sense to what I'm saying? That it's not room for room. If you have a house, that would be 1, but if you have like a condo, that could be 2 or 3 possibly. Is that different units?
No. Nope. If you have a condo, you just have 1 short-term rental license.
That is correct,
Yep, not 1
for every unit,
per unit.
yeah,
We don't have 1 per unit.
no, it's.
Just 1 per entity.
license. Yes,
So like over by me, there's 3 separate, A, B, and C on the same address.
And that's 1 license.
that's 1 license.
One.
That's what I'm trying to say.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Right.
Still need to do something about those
Isn't there something happening at the state level? I saw in the last couple of weeks where they're potentially
There's a
looking.
lot of controversy at
Yeah.
the state level in short-term rentals throughout the whole state of Wisconsin. Yes.
It seems to be going very smoothly here. I don't get complaints on my end. I can't speak for the police department if they're having issues with Airbnbs, rentals, anything like that. Things seem to be pretty smooth with us.
The only complaint we hear is every time a house goes up for sale, it turns into a short-term
Right.
rental.
And not everyone is licensed. I mean, that's what I'm hearing.
Well, I-
We got more than
I-
100 in the city and no one,
I don't know
how
how you
many are
track
licensed.
And the only way to track it is if we would be able to get some kind of breakdown from Airbnb, VRBO, Marketplace, and Evolve, and we can't.
Right.
We've
That's
tried.
what I said.
We're continuing to try. That's the only way we could know who's licensed and who's not. We're still getting their room tax dollars, regardless of them being licensed. So quarterly, that money is still coming in, whether they want to or not, or they're licensed or not. If you're renting through Airbnb, VRBO, Marketplace, HomeAway, or Evolve, that money is automatically coming to us. You do not have the option to opt out.
But a private one renting.
But if
private-
I just decided to rent my house, yes, I could do that.
And we don't have any idea of how many of these rentals are they throughout the winter. That's when our businesses need and struggle the most, so it would be nice if we had not just summertime rentals, but winter as well.
Yeah, no, I'm not sure. Any questions on that? Or- okay.
No, thank you.
I'll make a motion to approve the reports.
Second.
Motion by Mitch, second by John. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. I don't see any old business. So the new business, start with the budget discussion for 2026.
Jamie's gonna hand out something and I'm just gonna touch on this and why this is on here. Part of our budget discussion every year, obviously, is wages and benefits. And it moves a lot of things around in our budget and how our budget works. So we're trying to get out ahead of everybody. Last year, there was a really big hike with the benefit side of things and then employee wages. So what our plan is tonight and talking with the mayor, myself and Jamie, and what would you like the cost of living went up, I think it was 2.9%. The mayor directed us to use 3% across the board. That's what Jamie has built in to our budget currently today. But between today and our actual sit down and have our budget discussion, kind of a directive of, is that where you want to see it? Is this where you want to see it? Or do we want to see it go another direction? With that being said, I'm gonna turn it over to Jamie. She's gonna start with the insurance side of things and let everybody know where that is gonna be starting 2026. And then we'll move into what is the council and mayor's directive on the benefits. I'm sorry, on the wage side. So Jamie, if you wanna.
Sure. Okay, so, first side of the sheet I just handed out to you, we are now receiving the health insurance rates from the state much sooner than we used to. We used to get them like a week before open enrollment, so it helps us in figuring out our budget much easier. Last year, we had a fairly significant increase in what the city's share of the health insurance was going to be. This year, it is surprisingly almost nothing. So I have broken out for you what, on the right-hand side, what the monthly rates are in 2025 and what they are in 2026. Regardless, like, the employee can choose between like 4 to 6 plans. But regardless of which plan they choose, the city's contribution is exactly the same. If they pick a more expensive plan, the employee is the one that pays more money. So what I have broken out here for you on the left side under the employer share is exactly what the full-time employees, so this would be not utility employees, but it would be employees of the police department, library, and then just general government. 10 family plans, 7 single plans is what the current health insurance selections are. If there are no changes to who's taking what level of insurance next year, the total increase to the city for health insurance costs would be $582 total, which would be divide that by 17, it's gonna be $34 a person for the whole year. So super manageable. I don't know that we'll ever see that again. And then if you look down on the bottom, I have listed here, most of our employees either take the Prevea 360 East plan or a network health plan. We do have one employee who takes a different plan. That plan is not offered next year, so I did not include it here. But you'll see that the employer share went down, the employee share is taking a hit. So depending on single versus family, which plan option they choose, the employees share for the full year could go up as much as $850. Any questions on the health insurance?
But whatever they choose doesn't affect their bottom line. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you can only contribute so much.
Good news.
And what you're saying is year to year, a bottom line isn't gonna change.
No, and I mean, people may, once we hit open enrollment time, come like October, somebody's plan may change, somebody may not take insurance, we don't know that yet. But assuming nothing changes, this is where we're at.
Very nice.
What was it?
Late?
Oh, you're early.
You're early.
Oh,
Like
so
next
scared there.
Like
Like
next month, we
next
have you on the agenda.
No, I know, but weren't we gonna talk tonight about the sizing?
Next month.
Well, he is, but that's.
I apologize.
No, that's fine. I was surprised to see
But
you.
I thought you wanted to bring him up to speed on the capitalized interest. That wasn't tonight? Oh, it was a nice drive. Good to see you.
Apologize.
People. Have a nice dinner, Jeff. Have a good day. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
That's the quickest meeting I've ever been to.
I'm sorry.
We'll see you next time.
Yeah.
Should have called
The
in.
16th.
The 16th of this, what's
Yeah.
September.
Thanks, everybody.
Finance.
Enjoy the meeting.
Nice seeing you.
Sorry, Jeff.
Good to be seen.
Yeah.
Mayor, thanks. Appreciate it. I'm a little worried about this memory thing, though. I wrote it down on the calendar. I think they're wrong, I'm right.
I'm sure, I'm sure.
Bond rates just went down.
Okay, no questions on health insurance then? No, okay, good news. On the backside, This is just what the Wisconsin retirement system rates are doing this year. For general employees, the employee and the employer put in the exact same percentages. It's going up 0.25% for both. On the police side, there is a larger kick in for the employer. That's a state requirement. However, the employer share is going up 0.25 and the employee share is going up 0.25 to match what the rest of us employees are putting in. And then the employer share is going down. So really net effect, if you look at all the employees, I would think this is gonna be a wash.
Anything you wanted us to decide or do about this?
Not really on that, that's kind of informational. And then. Just, I wasn't listening to you a whole lot as I was walking around, but what we're trying to do is kind of nail down what the percentages or what you wanna do with wages now versus taking up so much time at the budget meeting like we did last year. Also, it gives us a chance to really like fine tune that budget before you see it, because if you make 1% change in what you're doing for a wage, it's gonna change 50 to 100 lines in the budget because it's going to affect wages in every department. It's gonna affect the FICA, it's gonna affect the retirement. So that's where we're at right now. Matt, I know Matt mentioned that the CPI is 2.9%. Mayor's recommendation was that we go to 3% for what I was working on. So we have done that. 3% increase to wages. And when I talk about this right now, I am talking about 11 people. It is all general government employees, so City Hall, Public Works, Parks and Rec, and the police chief. Library does their own thing because they're governed by the library board, and all of the police officers, not the chief, are governed under the union contract. So you don't have to say about what they do. I can tell you that the police department has a 4% increase coming on January 1. There's no step in that. So using the 3% number, the impact of the budget just on wages would be $24,092. Of that $24,000, just under 21,000 of it is general fund. The rest is broken up between marina, rescue, and wastewater treatment fund. That would be giving an across the board 3% increase to all 11 of those employees. And like, we're not super far into the budget process yet. The budget seems to be going together very well. I know that there's room where I'm going to be increasing revenues over what I budgeted for this year because I was probably pretty conservative with it being my first budget last year. Like, I know we've already exceeded interest rates substantially from what I had budgeted. So my plan is to increase that next year. So we do have offsetting revenues, I feel like, if you wanted to fluctuate that number at all.
We don't need to make that decision tonight, do we?
We're
But
hoping for some direction
But the
so
the only
that,
reason I ask, because I'm looking at this agenda and I see that we've got a closed session to talk about compensation. And I would prefer that we wait till we have that closed session before I make a determination if I want to do 3, 4, or whatever I want to do.
I think if we could agree on a minimum 3%. So that they can start working numbers. That's kind of what they're asking. I don't think that's a hard ask. I hear what you're saying, that if you might want to go up, you might want to go less, but a 3 is a good starting base, because I think this is gonna come back to us next month, right? Or is it in 2 weeks?
I think we're gonna hold off on the budget meeting until probably closer to the beginning of October. We did it mid-September last year. And we had the meeting and then I just had to keep waiting on stuff to come in. So it just felt like we had too much time in between.
So the closed session is police chief, admin. So we could make a decision now about everybody else, the public works and park and rec, couldn't we? Can we just say?
Well,
3%?
if you're gonna
They're not
do
on the closed session to talk about it.
no,
And the closed session really isn't about wages.
well, it says compensation.
Yeah,
then why-
part of the description.
Well, if you're gonna do it, you're gonna cap it at 3, that's fine, but this idea that it goes straight across the board, I'm not in favor of straight across the board. That's my point. I think that it needs to be looked at individually. Before you just say we're gonna give everybody a 3% raise,
You mean the position itself?
the position itself.
How the people are forming in that position is what you mean.
Not necessarily performing different.
Well,
job
part of
duties,
it.
but Yeah. and
Part of
different
it.
Duties,
Some people
duties.
do good and some people just kind of.
and some people have less workload, some people have more workload, that could determine compensation too. If you're getting less workload, you should be paid more, so.
If you wanna use a figure for Jamie for the budget, then you can give her a percentage, but I don't think we should put the wording in that it's straight across the board.
Okay, so what you wanna do is just wanna give them a package of a 3%.
Well,
Wage
if that's the-
increase and
if
they
that's the
divide it up.
figure.
If you wanna just use that number and say, this is the number we wanna use, okay? I think, I feel total confidence that we can move that number around. So Jamie knows though, this is the number I'm gonna use in the budget.
The map.
Is it gonna be that number? Is it going down? Is it going up?
I'd like to see a little bit more.
Would it affect you, Jamie, if one person got 2 and one person got 5 and they're in different departments, will that then cause you all that lines of work?
And then again.
She has to change a lot of lines if we change that number, and I'm curious if she could use 3% across the board, then that's good, but what if one department gets 2.2 and one gets 3.4, am I explaining it right?
Yeah.
Then that creates all that work for her.
Which I get, but it's still a cushion and it's still, I mean, it's still what even
I'm all
out.
for the number,
But,
I'm
I
just
mean,
trying to
it's-
make it easier.
But now that I'm hearing what Wayne's issue is that, I don't know, but I think if they want direction, 3% is not a bad start place, and then we can go into your issue, Wayne. I hear what you're saying, I think the one that we started last year and never finished.
Right. I mean, if you wanna use the 3% as a cap for her, that's fine. But I don't want it to say that because we're giving everybody's getting 3% across the board.
I agree.
Because then what's the sense to have any evaluations ready?
Right.
And we're only talking, I mean, we have no control over the hourly police. And the library, they do their own thing.
You don't, yeah, the library
Utility
board
does
is set
their
by
own
the
thing.
library board.
Yeah.
And, to what Jamie said about the union contract through the police department. The council got there as part of the negotiation when we locked into the contract. It's locked in now for
Yeah.
this year and next year yet, before we'd start negotiating for the next, whatever we would do. Yeah,
They're getting 4% though at the end of the year.
that is, yes, that was
And our
part of
other
their,
employees are only getting 3.
Well, they're only getting 2% and 2%, when you average it out, it averages 3%, because remember, you get 13
No, it doesn't
paychecks
average
at.
2, it averages
You get
3.
13 paychecks at 2%, you get 13 paychecks at the
4.
other difference, so you're only averaging 3%.
Well, it's the same thing as us.
just
That's a lot of work.
If you do the math,
just to
that's-
bring you to the Kevin, though, the union contract last year, they got 2 and 2. This year, they're getting straight up 4 on January 1st.
So they're not splitting
That
it.
is not
Not this year. In 2026, they
Yeah.
are getting straight up
Last year
4.
they split.
Last year they did, like
Oh.
you said.
And I think police deserve a little bit of a premium here, but I think 3.5 might be more appropriate than if we move a half point either way, it won't change it that much. If we go with 3 and then we change it to 3.5, but to have a 1% increase between the police and everybody else that works for us, I don't think that works. Just me.
You wanna do like a floor?
Yeah, I wanna do 3.5.
I don't think we wanna decide today. I think we just wanted to give them something so
Well,
they
that's
can
what we're
start
doing.
working the
We're trying to put
numbers.
a cap, right?
Yeah,
So-
well, no, we're just saying, here's a number, go for it. I didn't wanna even say cap, I didn't wanna open that can of worms, I'm just saying, I think they're looking for direction, and if they're not, then we wait them on. But I think then it's putting a little more on Jamie to turn around and get us what we need by October.
So if we don't make this number decision tonight,
Mhm.
does it pay to even put a number on it? If the discussion is, let's change this or change that or 0.5% or,
Well,
should that discussion be
I guess
had
if
then
you're not
before we
making a
give you that?
decision, I guess my request would be, what do you want from us the next meeting?
Yeah. And I think Jamie's, I don't wanna speak for you, because it is part of the budget, but if we have to come back and take a whack at the same conversation 30 days from now,
you shouldn't have to.
if Jeff,
Well,
Belangi doesn't take too much time. I- we don't need it set tonight. We wanna put it out there to try to mitigate this conversation of an $8 million budget and we spend 2 hours talking about this right here. What can we build into it? What do you want, right? If the council's directive is to give 1, 1, 1, 1, 1 and 5, 5, 5, you know, however they so choose to do that, that should be to what Alderman Schmidt's saying, discussed in closed session.
I mean, we talk about this every year, and I've been for the idea of having one bulk number, which is what you need from a budgeting standpoint, and not everybody gets the same. And there's people that argue, well, it should be straight and now back this way, and we teeter-totter back and forth every year, it seems. The way you have it now is 3%.
3% across the board is how I have it right now.
I would say I'm comfortable with the 3%, but across the board, I mean, 3%, you should be able, that's gonna give you your,
It gives me a pot of money, but it doesn't tell me where it goes, because there are some employees that are split, like the three of us are split between 4 funds.
but if you get in my world, I have all of the wages equal X dollar amount. I get 3% of that. How it gets split
I see.
is up to
Yeah, I
me.
know what you're saying.
So 3% of whatever the total wages are, I would agree with. And then it can be split or discussed
I
after.
thought you were going to
closed
discuss
session.
that.
You know, I agree with him because you're still got that pot for your budget.
Right.
How it gets divided out after is not gonna affect your top number. It can't, we're not gonna
Won't
exceed
affect the
that
grand
pot,
total number, it will affect the numbers within the funds, but
but not
yeah,
the overall budget.
Yep.
That's my
Yeah.
point.
From a budgeting standpoint, I mean, yes, you can throw it in there for all of your GLs and departments at a flat. But knowing that there needs to be there's going to be further conversation likely. I would be fine with the number. I don't know, my opinion.
I'm okay with 3.
Okay, any other conversation?
3 is.
I heard
What about the, something like. I mean, I would local non-full-time.
That's a separate thing.
Well, she's still got a budget for it.
Well, but there's other things to take into account for that too right now, so I don't know if I would.
That's not part of your question right now,
Yeah.
is it?
I mean, it could be.
Okay,
I don't know if I wanna go down that street.
So when would you prefer we talk about this?
After we decide what we're gonna do with,
let's have this closed session and
After our closed session.
is it appropriate to bring it back at council or do you want to wait till one second?
Like, we'd be bringing it back
We'll bring it back to finance.
to a finance personnel.
It'll have to be in September because I would think that the budget workshop might be before finance and personnel in October, I'm not sure. Or at that meeting, but it'd be nice to have that conversation kind of finalized before we get into the full budget conversation. 3%.
3% is what I'm hearing, so do you want to, any other input to help this along, or you're just good with that?
I don't know if I need any additional action on it at this point. I guess if you're going to discuss any further in your closed session tonight, then you'll provide some sort of
Sure.
direction from that.
Yep.
Following that closed session.
Okay,
Right? You're not talking part-time at this point, we're only talking the wages for full-time.
all right,
I think we're
and I guess we'll move on. The sign ordinance.
no problem.
So this was brought up, a month ago. And I guess we were appointed or tasked to look at changing our sign ordinance because of, educational, and where it says in the residential that allows schools to have signs, because they are in residential neighborhoods, what you are allowed. Right now, currently it says 8 square feet that you are allowed. Our directive is to see what the public school has and measure their signs to go against. So our ordinance currently today says you are allowed 1 sign not to exceed 8 square feet. All right, so I went up to the school, measured all the way around the school, the signs that they have. If we would go change our ordinance to what's designed in front of you, everybody has, I think, in their packet. You would be we would change it to say multiple signs. If we would allow you to have a lit sign or I guess I'm gonna call it a lit sign, electronic sign.
Mhm.
And you would be allowed to have 500 square feet of signage. If that's to put the school in compliance, that's what we would have to go to, is 500 square feet of signage.
So we could have a 62 by 8 foot ground sign. In this. If we can have total of 500 square feet.
You could have up to 500 square feet, and I think it says that we did put it in here to how many signs they currently have at the public school,
Right.
Which
Um,
school, the high school or the elementary?
the high school.
Okay.
The,
You're not counting the wellness center sign, are you?
we are,
But that's the
Part of
wellness center.
that's still
One
their
tax
building.
parcel.
Yes, one tax parcel.
Okay.
So, yes,
Okay,
that
that's
would,
a better way to put it, a tax parcel.
yeah, I'm
Okay.
sorry, yes, but it all would be. What I am not included in this 500 square feet, everybody's been in the high school parking lot. Like if you walk up to the doors in their windows, they have a sign that says like Algoma Wolves Gymnasium entrance that are on the inside. That's not included in this. Algoma Wolves, I think there's another one like
District office.
sports apparel
Yeah.
or something like that.
Booster Club.
That's not accounted in this. I'm counting, like, if you're in the parking lot, the big huge Algoma Wolves sign. There's one over the main entrance, like
Mhm.
where you go into the office. That's a quite large sign. The one by the wellness center. And the square footage adds up quite fast of what they have there. If that's what we wanted to do.
Is that in here where you've got the 32 square feet? Is that basically how big that sign is that they've got up there on the lawn, that electronic one?
That's how big the electronic portion of the.
Portion
the-
is.
The part that got lights up and.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
so the whole sign is
Bigger.
a lot bigger. The electronic part is, I wanted to put a number in there just to say you could have this big, and that would make the school compliant
The electronic.
with the electronic
Mhm.
part of it, or any other school that so chose to
Yeah.
put up electronic sign. Another thing that I put in here that the council can decide, but I put a timeline, a time zone on electronic sign. Because you do have residential houses right across the street. I think that should shut off at one point of the night and come back on. Even if it turns blue, it's not flashing different things. That's the time I thought we should use. The council could eliminate that time. The council could say, no, I want it to be 8 o'clock at night and it can come back on at 8 in the morning. That would be up to the council to change that. So the council knows if you're recommending this to the plan commission, the plan commission gets to view this, then it would come back to the council after the plan commission. If they had any recommendations or changes before it would be adopted and the ordinance would be changed.
Okay.
But if you go anything, I'm sorry, Dawn, go ahead.
I would just like to see the hours between 10 and 7. I think 11's kind of late for some of those people across the street. They might be.
That was just my recommendation with the time.
7 is too late.
Yeah.
Cause kids go up early for football practice, baseball practice.
Then 7 to 6, but
Um,
10 o'clock at night.
Sporting events are still going on
Yeah,
past 10 o'clock.
I would say that the same thing. Sporting events are still going on and they're gonna need, buses will need to see how to get out. So I think 11's a good time. I hear what you're saying, but we still have people in those buildings.
My educated kind of crack at this, and me and Jamie discussed it a little bit too, is even if you have a home basketball game, football game, by the time they're packing up, kids leaving, they could still see it. Or
Right.
if they're on the road, by the time the bus comes back, they get in their vehicles, go home. That's why I use the 11 o'clock at night. And I feel like 11 o'clock at night, the reason for it is the lights coming and going. Well, you also have traffic coming and going at that time, coming in and out of the parking lot. So that's why I use the time I did.
Is there anything about the direction of the sign? Like if it's north to south versus east to west, and getting in the way of, like, when I think of the high school sign, it's not right in anyone's house. If it were pointed a different direction, that would be an issue. I think we talked about that, cause I think that could be a problem.
Like you would want the,
Signed,
if it's got an electronic sign, that it needs to be like perpendicular to the street.
yes. I think that's.
To me, I do kind of agree. I think if it was turned the other way, ran
Yeah.
parallel with the street, it's probably more visible to neighbors across the street.
Right, right.
Agree.
I'm thinking of St. Paul's as well. It would work better that direction than this way, because the people across it, that's what's in their house.
You wonder how many people would put up reader signs that wouldn't be readable from the street traffic though? It's one thing to put a stationary sign. I understand what you're saying,
Yeah.
but like, I can't imagine a scenario where they're using a reader sign where they're gonna put it parallel to the school, because generally those reader signs are informative for future things. And so the idea is you have traffic that's going
Right now it
through.
is against the wall on St. Paul's. It's flat
And
against the
little,
But the new sign would be, that's.
Oh,
but yeah, I mean, if you feel like it's gonna be a point of attention, it's not too much, I don't have an objection to it. I just don't think it's going to be in any.
irrelevant.
Yeah, but I get what you're saying.
Well, we don't know.
That's true. Folks don't know anything.
Yeah. No, you wanna cast it forward.
So the other thing I just want to point out, because of this part of the residential sign ordinance, right? It allows the schools and, if you would allow, there's one since I've been here in town, a conditional use permit. So if you give a residential house a conditional use permit, you theoretically would allow them to have this in their front yard,
No,
unless you wanted that removed from that would be part of the conditional use,
bad.
is you can have a small engine shop in your garage, but you cannot have any of the signage. Because the way it's written, schools, conditional use, they're all allowed this, currently today, this 8 square feet. If we would change that, I don't believe, want a residential conditional use permit to be handed out and have them have the ability to put in electronic sign, X amount of square feet.
Right now, the only thing, so like it says right in the heading, it's for conditional or non-conforming uses or public charitable, educational, religious. So the way it is written right now, the only thing that does not apply to the conditional uses is the reader boards and the electronic signs. Because it says right after it, that it's public charitable, education, or religious. And it doesn't talk about the non-conforming or conditional use. So anything in items 1, 2, 3, and 4 would apply to those conditional uses. Not saying that they're going to do it, but
So a conditional use could not have a LED sign anyway, is that what you're
They
saying?
could, but they could have 500 square
They
feet.
have, they could cover their.
How do you change? that?
granted, they may not be able to fit it, like, they may not be able to. Get a sign in their front yard that's 25 feet from the right of way. Like, so maybe number 1 automatically precludes them from being able to do it anyway.
That's possible.
Maybe they're only able to hang a sign next to the garage door.
Or in 15 years, if you remember when you're handing out a conditional use permit, you make that as part of the conditional use, that they could not do that.
Is that sign at the school 25 feet from the road?
I don't think it is.
The electronic sign,
Yeah.
we measured it on GIS. I did not measure it in person, but we met, that's where we came up with the 25 feet. I think it's 28 feet.
Oh, I didn't
And
seem
and it's
like,
not from the road, that's from the right of way.
yeah, I wouldn't have
Yeah.
thought that, but,
Yeah.
okay,
And I can't say I went and found the property. We measured it on GIS.
sure.
To get, that's how we came up with the 25. I think we came up with 28 feet.
Well, then she'd be right,
Yeah,
one would include the other and kind of help the situation.
yeah.
Are there any other questions? Would you be looking for a recommendation then to push it forward, or are you just good with the conversation?
If you want to see it like this, we would ask for a recommendation to move this to the plan commission.
Do they want
Unless,
anything added about the electronic sign being?
I would,
Okay.
I would, I think, again, we're talking about today, but we don't know where we're gonna be in 10 years. If anything else could possibly crop, so I think it would be wise.
And after what I had said, I realized that there's actually two places in the city that actually have them oriented like that, so. Yeah, that would make sense to me.
And then if you
Alright.
like the time slots on it,
Yeah,
that would be one thing that we would have to go back to the public school and say, once, if this ordinance was in place, we ask that you become compliant, that
they're
it
not.
goes dark.
I don't,
I don't know
if
that
it
for
was
sure.
dark. Yeah, I don't know. if
I'm not gonna go there tonight to check.
I don't think they should do so.
I don't, but I don't know if they have this, honestly, I don't know if they have the switch, because that was there.
I would.
How can they
I
make
think
it?
we
compliant?
would be okay and you would become compliant, even if you would set your programming at 11 o'clock, it just goes to a solid black screen or
Or a
something.
picture of the.
Or
wall.
a single picture,
Yeah,
just that it's not flickering.
Okay, okay,
I'm not gonna, if they decide that they want
Yeah.
the screen to be yellow
that's,
from
I
11.
would reword that.
And maybe we should reword
I
that,
would reword that.
that, you know, if they just want that reader board to be yellow, that's not flickering. Changing colors.
yeah, cause here it says must be dark and non-lit.
So what do you want?
We could put it that it's days
Must be solid.
cannot,
Yeah,
Cannot be animated.
Stationary.
it
Yeah.
has to be stationary, something
Solid
to,
color or something, yeah.
I mean, I hate to see the school have to rewire their whole thing to have a.
It may
Time
have-
that it shut off, I don't know, maybe it does have that, I don't
I'm
know.
going to
Bob's
call
already
in the
counting
morning
his
to
money.
find out. If
What's
it's
that?
made.
Bob's already counting his money when you said that. Sorry, Bob.
Well, I don't even, I mean, that was built how many years ago?
They have the ability to adjust their programming because they get to decide, I mean, it's. no
That's true,
different
they
than
put
at
their
the
own
funeral
stuff up.
home. You get to pick
Yeah,
what all
I would
goes on there, so I don't think it would be an issue, but there's track meets where the kids aren't getting back to the school till after midnight.
Well, I mean, you're not gonna capture it all, I mean, if you could have a basketball game that goes into, you know, overtime or whatever, and I think you gotta find a equal ground that gives them the benefit of the doubt, but yet not 1 o'clock in the morning.
yeah, the only thing I worry about with buses, if people come back late at night, can they see their way out of that driveway? Does that light give them a little extra?
There's street lights right in there.
No, I don't see that. Not by the entrance, see, that's what I don't know.
I
It
think
must
I
have been
don't-
okay at one time because that sign wasn't there when I was in there.
I know, but
So,
made it out of high
There's
school
gotta be
games in
something.
Algoma without it there when I was back.
Street light right at the end.
Yes.
we're moving football up there eventually.
So you're gonna change the animation and are you gonna change somewhere then the perpendicular to the road?
Yep, we will add that in.
Okay.
And then if the time is good, 11 p.m. it goes out, can come back on at 6 a.m. Everybody's okay with that.
Goes to
Okay.
solid.
Goes to south, yep.
Then if there's nothing else, we would look for motion to
I'll
push it
send
forward with those three
I'll
changes.
send it to planning, make the motion to send it to planning
Second.
with the changes.
Are you good with that?
I have changes to add the perpendicular wording and then changes for the animation requirements. You said there were 3 changes. What's that third one?
He would ask about the time, I'm sorry, the time was.
The time stays the same. Okay.
Yep,
So just 2 changes.
just 2 changes.
And we're recommending that to the planning commission.
Correct.
Motion by Wayne Schmidt, second by Kevin Schmidt.
Correct.
Okay.
All in favor? Opposed? Passes. And then we have some CDC grants. Casey, I don't, you want to take that?
Three of them here. The first one, the Algoma Public Library, is the annual one. It's a line item for $2,000. The first 2 events have actually already transpired. The third one still is coming up. But yeah, that's the normal thing with the outdoor movie, pre-movie that was done in the park. John Sharp had come with the American Legion for a request for $1,000. We approved $750 towards the motorcycle show that was held in July. Seed money basically to help bolster that event. And then the last one, the Violence Intervention Project, came also requesting for $1,000. We had recommended $750 with them also. For that, it's a taste of the town appetizer walk that's gonna happen on October 11th. Part of it is they're trying to gain more connections and have more messaging out. They've had some budgetary considerations and they can't necessarily make up that budgetary limitation, but they want to be visible in the community and have that conversation. So people realize they're there and, you know, still provide the information and the important, work that they do. And this is basically, to go towards, like I said, that the appetizer, I believe there were 5 restaurants at the time.
We have 7.
7 now. Thank you, Amy. Where it's basically, you get 2 at a discounted price and then there'll be, awards and whatnot. It's, highlighting our businesses and also, you know, engagement from VIP. So it's $750 for the Legion and the VIP, and then the line item 2,000 for, the.
I thought Legion was 100,000. Oh, they requested
They-
1,000,
yeah.
but you're giving them 750.
Correct.
Any questions for Casey? For motion to approve the distribution of that money,
Could I ask for 3 separate motions?
you can,
Just
I'm going to abstain from the VIP one since I sit on their board.
okay?
I'll make a motion to approve the distribution of the grant funds for the public library. First one?
$2,000.
Yes, $2,000.
I'll second.
Motion by Scott and second by Amy. Ready to vote for that?
Johnson,
Yes.
Kidd,
Yes.
Wayne Schmidt,
Yes.
Kevin Schmidt,
Yes.
Meverden,
Yes.
Swedberg,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Hartley.
And the American Legion motorcycle show for $750.
So moved.
For $750.
Mhm.
Motion by Midge and second by Wayne. And a roll call for that.
Moore,
Yes.
Wayne Schmidt,
Yes.
Meverden,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Kidd,
Yes.
Kevin Schmidt,
Yes.
Swedberg.
Yes.
And the last violence intervention project for $750.
So I'll make that. I'll second it.
So moved.
Motion is by Scott, second by Wayne. And a roll call for that.
Meverden,
Yes.
Kidd,
Yes.
Swedberg,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Wayne Schmidt,
Yes.
Kevin Schmidt, Johnson.
Abstain.
Thank you, Casey.
Thank you.
And then D, the administration building and police department.
Okay, so everybody has 3 pages stapled together. They have the whole plan. I think Aaron put it out on everybody, so if you're on line, you have the whole plan. And really the whole plan shows an aerial view of the building. It shows more or less what it currently is and what state it is in today, and shows where they're gonna be doing work. But we clipped out, everybody for sure has a paper copy in front of them of the basement, the at-grade level, and the upstairs level of the building. And then right before the meeting, I also handed everybody, this is last month, what we looked at, you have a little yellow highlight mark on it, or a big highlight yellow mark, just to keep them separated. Because there were some questions of what was that before? This is just the at-grade level. I didn't make a copy of, for the downstairs or the upstairs, because really not a lot has changed. With that being said, let's start in the basement. So let me back up and start here. How we got these, I'm gonna say 3:30, or right around there. Myself, the mayor, Jim Thice and Brett Gillett, our building inspector, had a meeting, today to discuss what we can and cannot do, because there's a misinterpretation. I'm gonna say between who's gonna give us our occupancy permit, our building inspector and Bayland. Okay, and Bayland is saying if we do this, that would be considered an assembly. And if there's more than 50 people, you have to have a sprinkler in there. And so I went to Brett and I said, well, I need to get an occupancy permit from you. Do we or do we not have to do this? And Brett said, well, the way I interpret it, no, you don't. In fact, what I think in the scope of work of what you're doing, your plans don't even need a state review. Because you're not doing anything structural. Yes, you're moving walls around on the inside, but you're not pulling any walls down per se. It could be reviewed and approved by him, and we could move forward as the current sprinkler system sits in there today. The basement of that building is sprinklered. Don't know why. When they built it, they sprinkled it. They didn't the at grade level or the upstairs. Okay, that was the meeting we had today. Does anybody have any questions about that?
So you're saying then you won't need state approval, and we won't need sprinklers at all, no matter what we do.
Well, that's not necessarily correct.
We don't know.
Because if we change the occupancy to, let's say upstairs became something that there could be, there's two different terminations by the state code, and it's so many square feet of changing. Or let's go back to the original plan. Maybe the best way to explain this is we're gonna turn it back into the city hall. I don't even want to say this out loud, but I'm going to. We're to turn it back into City Hall, the police department and the library and do that big remodel. We would have to sprinkler the whole
Because we
building.
changed the occupancy.
We're changing the occupancy, we're adding square feet, removing structural walls. Okay? So, and the mayor sat in with this, and I'm gonna try to explain it the best I can, but I'm not a builder, so, that's the reason why we're able to do what we're able to do because of the square footage. Okay? So I'm gonna bring back to the plan to the basement. One of the things that we had to do down in the basement in the last month's plan, because the council chambers was down in the basement. The bathrooms had to be, the two bathrooms that you see on the new plan today was one bathroom, and then we moved the second bathroom and built the second bathroom over in the break room. Because the council chambers is not going in the basement, we would not have to do that. The bathrooms down in the basement would stay just like they currently are on the plan that everybody received today. Where the council chambers would be just storage. And then if you go in this hallway, there's this other big room downstairs. Was really the only work that would happen in the basement, to get back into where the sprinkler system comes in and where the water meter is. And then that's where there would be PD storage, the pass through for their evidence, their main evidence storage, and their armory. The way everybody sees it drawn. Okay?
I have a question about the evidence room. Is that secured? Like the vault is? I mean, I'm thinking we can move the evidence room to the vault, but you said the vault isn't very big. Is that big enough for?
It's not big enough, but yeah, so if the chief would like to comment on this. So there's a pass through, that room, 013, if everybody can see that, it's the middle of this addition or new development downstairs. Every police officer, only police officers, would have a key code access to get into that area. That's where they would process their evidence, put it in bags, write descriptions, I'm not sure what all happens in there, seal it. Then they put it in a one-way door. So that one-way door, our officers, once they put it through there, they can't get it back. Then once it's in that one-way door, the only people that have access in the evidence room is the chief of police and his evidence tech. So if you push something through that one-way door and you're like, oh, I forgot this or I did that, they have to talk to the chief or the evidence tech to allow them to retrieve that back. Am I explaining that right, chief?
Yep,
Okay.
it will be secure.
Yes, the short answer though is yes. The only thing that will be allowed for, I'm not gonna say public access, employee access, is this common hallway to get back into room 011. Room 11, that's where the water meter is. And the hydrant comes in, so myself, Casey, Jamie, Aaron, not that we would have to. Right now down in the basement, we have a tap that the utilities uses for state water sampling. Okay, I'm not saying that they're gonna wanna use this area for a state water sample site, but if they would, we can't have them have to go get a police officer every time that they would wanna get back there. So, or if they had to come and physically read the meter, we would have access to get into that back room.
So no one can use the break room
No, the only thing that would be secured.
that you would be going into is the room 11. Okay, that's.
That is correct.
Okay.
The only thing that only the PD would have access to is room 012, 013, 15, and 14. That would be secured.
Okay, I got it.
City council any city employee could use the rest of the basement.
Man, I'm drawing a blank. Is that break room already there?
It is currently just the way it's drawn. If you look at the last plan from a month ago, you show a bathroom over there, that's been removed.
Okay.
Does anybody have any other questions about the basement?
So we're gonna move the council, leaving room out of the basement?
The council chambers would no longer be in the basement.
Where are they gonna
Okay.
be? Up third story?
We're gonna get there. The F grade level, okay? Walk in the front doors, the clerk's office, the main kind of area reception counter, I'm gonna call it. Copies, supplies, it's way it's labeled in here. The treasurer's office and the administrator's office, that has not changed. Nothing has moved from there from last month's plan to this plan. Okay? Some of the changes that did happen is you can see where that big meeting room has been broke out now between a meeting room, building inspector's office, room 108, and the mayor's office, 109. That was the request that the council wanted to see changed. So that has been brought in there. With that being said, the IT room has been moved over into the police department. And the chief's office has been moved back kind of, I think where it was 3 plans ago. Where back by a window. Does anybody have any questions about this?
What's happening in the patrol office area? Is there like a conference table there? Is that where they have? Where you meet people to take a complaint or what's actually happening?
Where are you at?
Police office area, what happens there? You're gonna have a conference table, like if somebody comes and makes a complaint, you're gonna meet them in that room or where do you
No,
meet people?
Where you would just walk in, that big area there would be a table.
Just a conference table, so like,
Yep,
kinda like you have downstairs now, your conference
Correct.
table area?
112, I think is what it says.
Okay,
I think, and not to speak for you, chief, but I think Kevin, the table that would downstairs would move over there.
that would go.
And that would be something like if there's a bunch of police officers here for a meeting.
Or like, yes, when I came to take your complaints, the other day,
I done in
your
that.
conference room, this is the room that you do that.
That would be that room.
I have a question. Why is the building inspector getting his own office? How often is he here?
He's here 1 hour a week.
Bigger than the mayor's?
But his paperwork is here all the time.
We do have to keep all of his paperwork here, so he does have 2 file cabinets.
Yeah.
I get that, but it's right front and center and it's gonna be a vacant spot and people are gonna walk by and go, what's that?
Yes, too.
No, it's not. They have separate offices.
And the new one. You're a building inspector, right?
No, that's the old,
That's the old one.
that's the old one. It's right here. This is the new
Look
one.
at the
No,
new
that's,
one.
that's the old one. Isn't the yellow one the new one?
The
The
yellow line is the old plan.
This is the
You
new
have a
one.
yellow highlighter on it, that is the old plan. The new plan shows the building inspector's office in 108, the mayor's office in 109, and 107. Now that meeting room has gotten smaller.
See, again, where are we gonna vote? I would prefer to have that building inspector share with the mayor and then make that building inspector meeting room all one L shape and people could go and vote in there. Would be a better functional space.
I don't think it would be, you know, even if you did that, would it?
We have, we don't have to have a board on City Hall,
No.
couldn't that be done at the new fire station?
I believe that would be something that will come later of where we would host our elections moving forward.
I know they could also go down to Coonskin Hall.
I don't believe that it will be in this current facility. That would be the best thing for the city to help host elections here. It could be Knudsen Hall, it could be the new fire station. I think that would come at a later conversation. I don't, Jamie or Aaron, do you want to touch on that a little bit though? That's not something that we can just make a decision. That would be a decision we have to make. Is that, because we talked about it a little bit.
Yeah, if you change where your polling place is going to be, there's resolutions that need to be passed and paper that needs to be filed with the state and accessibility checklists and.
Oh, I realize that.
I'm assuming we're gonna have to do that next year, because you have 4 elections next year. It depends, like, when is this gonna start? When are we kicking this off? You know, are we still gonna be here for, we could very well be here for February and April, but come August, we might be at the youth club, and come November, we might be at the fire station. So
And-
we'll be just passing a lot of resolutions, getting the state very involved, which isn't fun, but we do what we got.
I guess my argument for keeping it all within the city hall is movement of things and movement of you guys, because you guys, one of you's gonna have to go down there and one of you's gonna have to stay here.
Mhm.
Whereas now it's nice, sometimes you just pop back to your office.
You also have a third floor. I mean, the city council chambers is going upstairs, and Jamie can speak to this more than I can, but it's not uncommon to have your your voting upstairs, downstairs.
Oh,
It's also not uncommon to have your voting place completely separate from your city hall.
True. We vote in schools down in Milwaukee.
Yeah,
I mean,
schools, churches, church basements, I mean, it's gonna be different, but
I
next
don't
year's
like
gonna-
different, or I don't like change.
next year's gonna be your wild card year.
Yeah, I just thought. that
And I mean, if you still have this building continue and it's operable and functionable, keep using this building until you can't. I mean, it all depends on where that goes. But yeah, it's not as simple as, hey, we think we're gonna move this and we're gonna do it a month before an election. I don't know if you're gonna hit that.
And that's why I wanted to just bring attention to it, is it's not as easy as tomorrow we're gonna have the election at Knudsen Hall. Right? There's gotta be some pre-plan of how that would work. We don't have to belabor that today, but that,
Good information, because I didn't know it.
correct, I didn't either. Myself, Jamie and Aaron were talking about it. Jamie dealt with it. She's like, well, it's not just as simple as saying,
Yeah.
next week, we're gonna have the
Right.
election at so-and-so. There is a process that has to be done.
I do like your comment about the L shape with the building inspector, like if you could almost make that like a half. like
Yeah, I just.
one of those walls and open that up a little bit more, but
Right, and are there windows? Those are landlocked in, same with,
no, it's completely landlocked.
that's just not cool, but, I don't know, I know he's here 1 hour a day and he's got file cabinets, but they could go anywhere. I just think it's wasted space that, and I would hate to put a sign on there if, again, 5 years in the future, we decide, well, our building inspector's only here half a day, not even a whole day. We don't need that and now we're trapped. I just want a little more flexibility with that, and I just think that's if he's here that little bit, share files somewhere. Put him in.
Yeah, he's here 1 hour a week from May
That's it.
until October. I don't remember what you guys changed it to this year, but you guys changed it this year for winter hours, so
It's not your
1
fault.
hour a week,
Oh, that's right, yeah. So 1 hour a week for now, and then none at all during the winter.
correct?
Again, why is he getting his old off? I think that's waste.
And I'm just gonna talk about the city of Kiwanee. The city of Kiwanee doesn't have a building inspector that physically comes into the office, so there's no building inspector.
So potentially that could happen in the next 5 years, and now we're sitting on the spot that could have been used
For
different.
something else, correct? Or it can just be an office that an alder can use should they wanna come in and meet with a constituent.
I've got one question. Since the upstairs has so many offices are not using. Could we take the building inspector, the mayor's office, the meeting room, take all that out, have that one big open room? We vote in there, make that our voting area, and then upstairs, move all that stuff upstairs. Your conference room, your mayor's office, your building inspector, they all have windows, light,
Mhm.
it's more appealing. Then this whole area here could just be all open.
And
All open, and then you could have your voting and table. That's something that could work.
I don't see an issue with that. One thing I would like though, and it happens enough, I would like some kind of bigger room down there to down at the main level.
And that's what this would be, is one big area.
But a
But,
conference.
but have a table and chairs in
Yeah.
there,
And
to
you
the
could.
point of, like, just recently, myself, Jamie and Aaron and Quantum had 2 or 3 people here, we all sat down. That wouldn't work in anybody's office, it'd be nice to have a spot, and that we all wouldn't have to be upstairs, that if somebody came in, somebody had gotta run up and down. That's my only,
In the,
Agreed.
in the, on the, no, on the front.
on the main level. At grade level.
Right,
Just have so
but
much
we're
wasted
looking to get rid of
space
it.
there, wasted hallway going down to the vault. Then you got 3 rooms with no windows, this is like a dungeon. Unless you don't wanna vote here. But it's like the size of a 2-car garage, you have plenty of room to vote. But I get your point with the meeting table area.
Yeah, I think a meeting table area is important. It just looks official as well.
I could just, move the mayor's office over to the building inspectors and have that
We're,
open area.
I'm trying to be as economical as we possibly can. And,
Well,
You know-
putting walls, I mean, the walls aren't there, so
No,
building
correct.
walls, it's costing
Yep.
money. If we take the walls down.
But the way that we have it, we're not doing anything on the second floor, correct?
the council chambers would be
I'm
upstairs
just
and
saying,
there would
as
be
is
nothing done on the
construction,
second.
destruction, so you're saving costs. You make that change, or you're saving, you're adding upstairs. I'm fine with the way it
We
is.
talked about possibly putting carpeting upstairs or just leaving it as is for now.
for now, yeah.
And possibly looking down the road to do something with the flooring.
I'm fine with the layout that you have provided. One of the things I did ask for was the option for closing in the garage for the cars.
As an alternate to the bed.
That we're gonna do it.
I think I'd like to see a garage for the police cars also. It doesn't have to be insulated, doesn't have to be heated. It just has to be, someplace so you get, I mean, I've never had an insulated garage. Just drive it, it keeps the vehicles out of the elements, yeah.
In the email that I had sent you, I provided all the state statutes. You don't have to have that, so.
Yep.
I would like that as.
So I think and that's something, if we decide to move to bid, I think that's something that should be an alternate.
So we're gonna
As the
bid
bid
that.
package, that it would be bid as the whole package, but we could say, okay, this is X amount of dollars, we're not gonna do it at this time, or yes, we're going to. Does that make sense?
It would be closing it in and then putting that door back in.
I don't think we ever discussed abandoning it.
Completely. I would like to see it too. I mean, that's one of our, I guess, getting our squad cars inside, that they're not sitting out in the element. I have to
Doesn't
fully
need to be
agree.
heated.
As we move through this and find out that maybe this garage doesn't have to cost us $300,000, how can we work through getting that done?
That might happen faster.
Or 200,000 or, whatever, right? Because we also told this council that we have X amount of dollars and we use 200 of it on the purchase. We're trying to be mindful of where that comes in.
Right. So would you be looking for a motion, Matt, to next step?
I just want-
Put it out to bid?
The last, issue, or the last thing is just so everybody sees the upstairs. Nothing would change upstairs, but for the council chambers would go up there. And that's all you see.
Other than all the electric and speakers and all that stuff has to be.
There would be some work done like that. That is correct. There would have to be, obviously that needs to be built out like this U shape. It needs to have electrical to it, speakers, microphones, how that all plays out would all be part of that as well. Upstairs.
And we're set on how we have the council set up.
That is just a
Good.
placeholder I put in there.
Good.
The council's,
Well, no, the problem we have of not hearing is gonna continue if we don't come up with a different shape. So that's all I'm
This is
saying.
an L shape, this is a U
Yeah,
shape.
this is a
This
different
is
shape.
better.
Yeah, the U shape,
Better get
it's,
talking across.
anyways, but we can argue that later.
It's better, but I don't know how
Parallel.
you see these TVs. The TV's gotta be looked
Yeah,
at.
because we got.
You have one on
these
each
too.
side, so.
Well, one is way down here by the, or 211, you couldn't even see that from just this. but you
Yeah.
have 210.
Yeah.
what I was focusing on is because exactly, I don't know if Amy or Dawn heard it, is a lot of, I didn't hear you.
Yeah,
To try to keep it that you're in a conversation.
Make it short enough where I can just reach across if I need to.
oh no. Well, more kind of how the county has theirs, where they've got the chairman up top and then the administrators on either side, so they're.
Oh,
up
you
on
want
the
them above
things.
us, just, them to look down on us.
No, and then we are in the audience, and then the audience would be behind that. That's more of what I was looking at, but we're not there yet.
Yeah, I'm not really worried about that right now.
Yeah, that's
That's the audience.
just the big open room.
I wanna look at the audience.
Council.
So, well, I mean,
I just find,
Yeah.
you can't always get Steve's attention and Mr. Mayor's attention, so it's just, that's a little hard, so having someone that could either be the spotter. maybe that's what we have to do as the council, someone's the spotter.
So the minutia of that though can be,
That can be ironed out later. I'm still very against this whole building.
We can talk about moving that one week, but we should have some kind of direction to give Bayland. Are we looking for Y, a V, a horseshoe, L shape, I'm just,
I think the U makes.
You're talking to each other,
it's just,
the mayor.
that was staff recommendation.
Yeah.
It doesn't,
As far as the TVs, they could be moved to.
I'd like to hear the one TV go by 210 instead of 211, we're not gonna be able to see it.
Where will staff be sitting?
there's upstairs, Kevin, there's some. For whatever reason, some of the doors, right alongside the door, they have a full glass
Oh,
panel.
that's what that is, they're still
Um,
silent.
and if we're not gonna do any demo upstairs, that's why I think the TVs he shows where he's showing them, or Bayland is showing them. Because if you go over an office, it might be for whatever reason, a whole glass panel
Sure.
from floor to ceiling, like you have the door and then a window to see into the office. Not saying that
Do a TV on cart
on a cart,
or like that.
We're talking about where we're putting TVs.
yeah, I mean, that,
Can be added, we got other stuff. I'll find what that is.
Yeah, we gotta.
they,
Looking for a motion to
what, so
put it out to bid?
just to, what I would like to see, okay, is yes, a motion to go out to bid. But I would like to go out to bid, when we have the plans back from the library. And the changes and everything that needs to be done at the library. So I'd like to bid them both at the same time. I feel like we would get better pricing.
I thought that was decided at our last meeting.
Yes, and I just want to reiterate that if you say tonight, let's go out to bid. I can let Bayland know that this is the direction we're going. But don't go out and start the bid process until we have the library set done. And the council gets to look at the library set as well. Does that make sense?
So they're doing plans for that too.
They are working on, they will be here, sit down with Kathy, kind of go through, because of the $500,000 donation. The price that we have is $325. Okay, now let's start talking about replacing windows or the wants in the wish list. I'm gonna say that, and getting that in paper and then getting that ready to go out to bid. And, okay, well, I want that, but okay, now it's an alternate. Maybe you can get that done, maybe the library board, library, friends of the library step up or something like that, right? But yet be able to have, that they have options to say, we can, or no, sorry, we can't do this. Does that make sense?
No, I don't follow, so.
So ultimately, yes, Scott, I'd look for a motion to go up to bid, but it won't happen immediately, as a package.
I'll make a motion to utilize these to go out to bid at the package with the library and also want to make sure that the alternate for the enclosed garage knows and
Yes,
it's
what I
put
meant.
in.
Second that.
I think Kevin's already got the second.
Okay.
Scott has the motion. Do you have it, Henry?
Yeah,
Okay, and second by Kevin. Did you roll call that?
Boer,
yes.
Swedberg,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Kevin Schmidt, Kid,
Yes.
Meverden,
Yes.
Wayne Schmidt.
Yes.
Did you want to add something about the library building to that?
I kind of touched on it, but just to reiterate, that is the intent, next step. I did talk with the library board at their meeting for 5 minutes last night. Work with Bayland now to bring Bayland back in here. Go through a walkthrough with Kathy. What are the wants, the wish list and the needs list? Add those, what's gonna be an alternate of the bid package, what's gonna be the has to happens of the bid package, and then prepare that. Bring that to this group, get approval, and then put that out to bid as well. So,
Anybody have any questions on that? I think we don't need anything for that, correct?
no, I'm not looking, there would be no motion there, it's information.
And then any agenda items for the next meeting, Matt, Jamie, or Aaron? Next meeting would be September 16th at 5 o'clock. And then I will entertain a motion to go into closed session pursuant to Wisconsin statute 1985, section 1, subsection C, considering employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility. The city clerk, city treasurer, public service director, the police chief, and the city administrator.
I make some motion.
Motion by Dawn,
Second.
second by Mitch.
Discussion. Just, curiosity, so each of these individual listed in here, there's something specific?
Not necessarily. It is covering all the bases per the League of Municipalities. So this conversation could be about any one of them named on here. It's a discussion. It is not a witch hunt. If that's what you're worried about.
I didn't even cross my mind that it'd be a witch hunt. I was just curious about, I didn't, normally when these things happen and you ask administrative staff, you get a better feeling. But it seems like the details were murky here, and so I just wanted to see what we're contending with.
Yeah, it's performance complaints, things of that nature. It's gonna be an open session discussion. But I wanted the council to be aware of everything that was transpiring before it became a train wreck. Does that explain it? I don't know.
Plans.
You are the governing body. So you are the people who run the city.
Thank you. I
Okay.
appreciate that, yeah.
Anything else? So a motion was by Dawn, second by Midge. Roll call vote.
Dawn Kidd,
Yes.
Midge Swedberg,
Yes.
Amy Johnson,
Yes.
Casey Boer,
No?
Kevin Schmidt,
Yes.
Wayne Schmidt,
Yes.
Scott Meverden.
No.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Another glass of.